Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, May 26th, and I just gotta say this, guys. Right now, I'm inside, right? My house is air conditioned. The studio is air conditioned, and it is hot still. We have reached the point in California, Central California, where it is now going to be the dreaded oven-like summer. If you're not from this part of California or part of the country, I guess you can say, let me tell you this about summers here. I would rather have this over like Texas or Florida or even like anywhere in the South, right? But don't get me wrong here. This, when it's summer in California, in Central California, it feels like you're in an oven. Like you're legitimately cooking. Like I'm actually worried that like things outside will not be able to survive. Like animals, insects, fuck insects, anything plastic outside might melt. You know, I've always seen like videos or pictures of like, you know, people's like bumpers melting or like some rubber or plastic outside their house melting in other parts of the country. I'm like, I always think that, you know, how come I've never seen that? Like, it gets hot as balls out here. Really, really hot. But I've never had the privilege to see something get melted, you know, because of the sun, because of how hot it is outside. And, you know, just maybe a couple weeks ago, like, I woke up in the morning, right, like around 5 a.m., and it was chilly outside. I was like, oh yeah, it's still like, you know, chilly out, and it's not too bad. And then within the next week, boom, it hits. You wake up and it's like, oh, it's not chilly at all. It's actually kind of, you know, average, like normal temperature. It's like, uh-oh, this is it. This is the beginning. Like now we're going to be in this constant heat. Constant heat. And I say that because it literally feels like this part of the globe or this area of the country, the planet, just never really has a good moment to cool down. It just never does. And, you know, that's just, you know, from my perspective, but like you might be the same for you or, you know, somebody you know, but like, you know, when it is summer, it's like you ain't cooling down anytime soon, at least outside. You see, you got to go inside and cool down that way, or, you know, get a pool or something like that, or go to a water park, or like go to the beach, or go somewhere in a higher elevation where it's cooler, like the mountains or like you know, the hills. Just get away, right? We all kind of want to get away during the summertime because that's always kind of been a thing in this country, right? Like summer always brought this vibe of kickback, vacation, road trips, day trips, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's just been the vibe of the season, I guess you could say. We're not even in, you know, according to the calendar, in summer yet, but it still feels like it's, you know, it's already here, at least, you know, in my opinion. And, you know, in Central California, it gets pretty hot. Like I said, an oven. Like I think like record temperatures might be like around maybe 113 where I live. And in that situation, you can't even step foot outside. You do, you're going to be cooking and you'll feel it. And it's like, if there's no wind, nothing, it's just still air. And you're like, why am I being prepared as a meal for someone? Like, what? Throw some seasoning on me, man, and just, you know, put me out to on someone's plate. How long do I gotta be in here? What's my cook time? They gotta rotate me, or what's going on here? Literally, it feels like you're about to be served up on a platter and be eaten. Because it's just, I wonder, like, if anybody could, like, walk up to somebody who's been outside for a long time. Like, if you tan in, like, a really, really hot weather, right? Like, it's super hot outside, and you decide to go out and tan. Could you actually smell, like, your flesh being cooked? Is that even possible? Or is it just, like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, how hot does a person have to be to cook? Now, I am no cannibal, so I have no experience in consuming human flesh, so I wouldn't know how to cook myself. But, it's just something to ponder. Like, how hot does it have to be for a human being to cook? I mean, I don't want to Google it because I feel like I'd get put on some kind of list. This man might be a cannibal. Watch out for this guy. So I'm not going to take that risk and Google that, because that could be catastrophic for your boy here. So I'm not even. I mean, I've already kind of said it out loud next to my phone and my computer. So who knows? Maybe the government's like, "Hey, what's up with this? Why?" And maybe I'm already being put on a list because of that. I have no idea. But yeah. Back to the vacation thing. I remember back when I was really, really young. We would go to the beach, go to the mountains. Water parks were always the best. Nowadays, I think I could never really step foot into a water park because the sanitation factor. You go there as a kid, and you're like, "Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, let's go to the lazy river and just, go down this little trail of a pool trail and just, kick back and do nothing. Just get in the raft and just go in it." And then back then, it was always nice and pleasant. But as I got older and as I got wiser, I'm like, why is the water like so warm here? Or why are there leaves all over the place? Why are there like leaves at the bottom of the pool? Like, at points I was like, this is kind of disgusting. Like, it's slippery at the bottom. Like, are they not cleaning this right? Like, what's going on here? I never, the whole, like, if you piss in the pool, in a chlorine pool, it turns blue. I don't even know if that's true or not. I saw it in Grown Ups, but I never tried it because I saw it. And even then, I just kind of knew, like, never piss in the pool. Like, and I never did it. I was always like, I was never told to not piss, like, directly, like, "Hey, make sure you don't pee in the pool." But I just kind of figured, like, I'm not going to do that. That wouldn't be nice. That wouldn't be cool to the other kids, like, when I was, like, young. Stuff like that. Well, you would go to, like, the town pool as a reward trip, before, like, in May, right before school let out for the summer. And then you'd be like, "Hey, yeah, we're going to the pool. And so I'll have some fun." It was a nice day. You cooled off and you with your buddies and your friends, and you're just like, "Yeah, we're in the pool." And like the fact that also, like, school gets out in the summer. Like, when was that decided? Who decided that? Why was that always a thing? Why was it because it's summer? Why would they kick kids out of school? Like, why would they stop schooling in the summer? Like, I never really understood why. I liked it, don't get me wrong, it was always fun. But, like, what caused the person who created school to be like, well, kids need a break. Why not put it in the summer? Like, why not winter or fall or spring? Like, why the summer? Why is that? Is it because of the equinox? Is it because of the eclipses? I don't know. I truly have no idea. It's always puzzled my mind of why the summer. Maybe it's because families have to go on vacation during the summer. But it's like, it's not no different from any other time of the year. Like, why summer though? I don't know. I just never really understood that. Don't get me wrong. Again, I said, big fan of summer vacation. Always a fun time. But never really understood why in the summer and why so long. You think about it, like whenever I went on to summer vacation and whenever I knew that, okay, I'm going to block off June, pretty much the entire June, all of July, and a lot of August to myself. And they always say, make sure you write, make sure you read, make sure you do some times tables when you were like younger and shit like that. And then you're like, and then you get back to the next year, you're like, whoa, I forgot how to write. I forgot how to add. I don't know how to do any of this. And we're going to learn new stuff. I got to relearn everything that I just forgot. Like, I mean, that's got to be like a thing, like teachers' worst nightmares, right? Like, I mean, essentially, when the kids come back to school after the summer break, it's like, okay, I got a bunch of idiots here. I got to teach them how to write again? Like, how does that work? How does that, like, you think about it, the teacher is a hard starting job. Like, the first day is going to be tough as nails, right? Like, because first of all, it's new for you, right? New semester or new year, new lesson planning, new kids. And oh, by the way, they're going to be really, really dumb right now. If you think about it, they know nothing. They forgot their name. They don't know the date. They forgot what 2 plus 2 is. Oh, and by the way, you got to teach them this literature about the thesis of why this dog runs away from this wolf. I don't know, some dumb stuff like that, right? Talk about the worst first day on the job you could possibly imagine, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of felt like I had good teachers growing up, so like I couldn't really tell like if they were like, doing a poor, I mean, a couple of teachers you can tell like they're doing a poor job at teaching you. They're like kind of half-assing it or not giving it their full effort, whereas, some are and some aren't. It's like, I don't expect them at the beginning of the year to like have everything down either. Like, I'm pretty sure like they're just like me and you, right? They're like nervous for the year, what they got to teach you and stuff like that. What can they cut? What can't they? Is a class going to keep up? You always had people or teachers say like, oh, we're behind class. Like, we got to pick it up. We're behind. Like, what do you mean we're behind? Like, is it a race? Like, who decided where's the finish line for this semester? You have no idea. You're just like told like by the teacher, we're behind. Like, well, how do you know? Like, what do you mean we're behind? That's never fun to hear you're behind. You're behind means, oh, I'm not going to finish, or, oh, am I going to make it, or, oh, are they going to leave without me? Like, it's like them just saying you're behind is just not something that you want to hear ever. It's tragic. It's fearful. It puts fear into you, into your soul, into your mind. And you're like, whoa, if I'm behind, am I going to pass? Are we going to do this in time? What's going to happen? Or do we have to do summer school? All that kind of stuff just kind of, gets into your brain. And you're like, well, what do I do now? I mean, if we're behind, I mean, we're screwed, right? Like, we can't come back from this. But it's like it always kind of, figures out, right? Everything figures itself out. The teacher gets on, themselves, and you hunker down, I guess, as a team, as a classroom. You achieve the goal to cover everything and to learn the stuff and, I guess, do the homework and do the tests, and then, boom, you're done. Back to summer school, or back to the summer. But back to, summer. I used to love it. I really did. As a kid, I think we all loved it. But when you grow up, you're like, it's great. It's fun. But it's hot. And the more I grow up, the more I just want to be inside. And I feel like I miss it all, right? I feel like I don't want to go outside anymore. I don't really need to go swimming. I have air conditioning. That's just another workout for me. I don't want that. I don't want to excess energy to stay cool. You know what I'm saying? I know you're thinking like, well, you could just sit in the shallow end and just not move. Like, well, yeah, I could. But then again, people, you don't realize that you actually can get sunburnt in the pool because the water, what I've heard from science, acts like a magnifier and then just, magnifies the light rays, and then boop, you're sunburnt. So you could feel cool, but your skin is burning, but you just don't know because UVA rays, science. I mean, I'm no scientist. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but it's something like that on the lines. Again, this is not a science podcast, all right? Just having, a little fun. But that's what I've always been told. And it's true, I think, because I'm not a huge putter-oner of sunscreen. I never really have been. I've always kind of hated it because of the way it makes you feel and the way it makes you look. You kind of look pale, white, but also like a shade of like red or purple. It's weird. It's like it's got a weird coating. I also feel like stuff like that protects you from the rays has probably also got some kind of chemical that's like probably not great for your skin as well. Again, I'm no scientist, but that's just my initial thoughts of sunscreen. It's got some kind of shielding on it that, who knows, maybe it's not that great for your skin. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that, tanning oil is not great either. I don't know. I haven't read the bottle. I mean, if it has like, some kind of element in it, like ends with an IUM, I'm always like concerned, like, oh, should that be on my arm? Who knows? Or like, it's like when you see like xanthan gum or like some kind of chemical in a drink or something like that. Xanthan gum. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I might not be. I'm no nutritionist, but like, that doesn't sound great either. Or, when you hear everything has like corn or corn syrup, it's like, what? What is even that? How does that get created? Corn syrup? What are you talking about? I know corn. I know corn flakes, corn nuts, corn on the cob, elote, but not corn syrup. I mean, it's just like, I always picture it just like looking like a honey residue, like kind of like honey because it's yellow and corn is yellow. I always think that it's just like that. I don't know. I could be wrong though. Who knows? And then like you back to summer, you would try to escape it and just try to escape the heat. And when you get older, it's like years. The landmarks of summer go by, right? June begins. You got June 6th, D-Day. Bum bum bum. Then you got 4th of July. Bum 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 bum. More of that. And then you got August 1st, no bum bum bum. Then you got like August, 8th, 9th, preseason football starts, and then boom, it's over. It always blows by so fast. And now that I'm thinking about it, this year is kind of blowing by fast as well. It's about to be June, people. I don't know if you've noticed this, but time does fly. Now that I think about it, it does fly. I remember back when I started this podcast last year in January, and now it's already going to be June. It's quite incredible time how that works and how that's how it's I guess, how do the scientists say it? Time is, what do they say? Time is a weave, some kind of thing. I don't know. It's in every like sci-fi movie about time travel. They say it in everything. Like it's like an envelope, I guess. You can like fold it. Or no, that's space. What am I talking about? There's a big difference, Alex. God. But yeah, it always blows by me. Summer blows by me. I'm gonna actually try to make this summer. I'm gonna milk it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna appreciate every day. Be like, remind myself that I am in the season of summer. And you know what, Alex? Maybe plan a beach trip. Maybe go to the beach. That way you can feel like it is summer, right? Go to a beach. Maybe go to a pool, even though that's going to be, exhausting. Go to the pool. Maybe go to a water park if there's any open anymore. I don't know if they are open anymore because just the times that we're in, but like, hey, maybe try one of those. Or what else is another fun summer activity? There isn't much. I'll tell you this. The best summer activity is staying cool. That's the best you can do. Because at the end of the day, we are fighting the sun and trying to stay cool. Find some shade, right? Find some shade and don't let go of it. And if you have to, thank you thank the shade, thank you for your service, shade, and then move on to the next. Whether that be a pool or a water park or a beach or mountains or a river or lake. I've never really actually been to like a river or a lake anywhere nearby because I just kind of find like those are some weak ass bodies of water. I got to be honest with you. I'm a beach or bust guy. Beach or bust. Maybe I should go to a lake or a river and change, have it change my mind. Like, hey, we can do the same thing the beach can, but we're just, fresher. We don't have any sharks you gotta fear, or jellyfish, or Poseidon, or giant squids. You can come right in and just, have some fun. All you gotta worry about is salmon, trout, maybe a bear, a wolf, a deer, and that's about it. I'm talking about like lakes and rivers, like in mountainous areas, not like a like a salt lake or one of the Great Lakes in the United States. Never been there. I've heard looks like a beach because it's so massive. Right? The biggest lake I saw was Crater Lake in Oregon. Right? I saw it, coincidentally one summer ago. Not one summer, but a summer ago. And it was quite beautiful, right? And it's big too. I was like, this is a big ass lake. But then you look at it on a map, like Google Earth, and then you compare it to, like, I don't know, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, or like Salt Lake. And then you're like, holy shit. Like, you can fit like 20 of the, like 30, like 40, 50, 100 of these in these lakes. Like, that Lake Michigan is gigantic. It's huge. And then I'm like, well, I've never, that can be like classified as a sea. Because I've seen videos of those lakes. Like, they have like waves and shit. They have like actual beaches. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I wonder if the water there is salty or fresh. I'm no geologist, so I have no idea what would make the water there salty. I still don't know what makes the ocean water salty. I'm pretty sure it's salt, but where does the salt come from? Who knows? Did God just sprinkle it like he was seasoning the earth, like, a dash of salt for the water, and I don't know, pepper for the continents. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a perfect balance, I would say, right? It makes sense. I mean, if the water is blue, right? Like, what also makes, like, why is there so much? Like, and how can we not desalt the ocean and make that water drinkable? Why, like, and if we can, why have we not done it yet? If we think about it, like, if we really put our minds to it, can we accomplish that goal to make the ocean drinkable? Or not drinkable, but can we get the water from the ocean and make that drinkable? Then we would solve hydration. We would be out of droughts. We would be able to use that ocean water to water the plants, water, ourselves, water the mountain, whatever. We could do that, harness that power of the ocean. I you know what? Even if we all started to do that, I honestly doubt we would put that big of a dent in the ocean, right? I just feel like even with all of our drinking abilities of, making everything that we use to make, drinks, soda, alcohol, juice, whatever, it takes water. And even our raw consumption of water, right? We probably wouldn't even put a dent into the ocean's capacity of water, right? I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. But, I never underestimate the power of mankind. Never do that. Ever. Because we're capable of so many incredible things. Also some bad things, too. But mostly, I would say, incredible. I mean, think about it. How the hell did we go from writing with feathered quills and an ink pot to a clicky pen? Like, if you think about it, like, the clicky pen, if you throw that back into, like, 1722, right, when they're writing next to a candle with a quill and a pot of ink, and you're like, here, there's a pen, use that. Like, what on earth is Douth pen? What is this? You're like, hey, watch this. Benjamin, you click it, psh, and then you write on it like, oh, what? What on earth is this type of sorcery? And you're like, well, this is plastic. This is a metal spring. This is a ballpoint pen, and this little plastic tube has all your ink in it. And I'll guarantee you this, sir. It's going to last you a lot longer than that pot of ink or that well of ink right there you got there. Trust me on that. And then they'll blow you. Their minds will be blown, and they'll probably execute you. They'll be like, that's witchcraft. What are you? And then just slay you right then and there. It's like, it's over. Boom, kaputs. Stuff like that. You know, it's gotten me to thinking that we have also made a lot of incredible achievements, inventions. Food combinations is another one, if you think about it. Now, the basic ones are ham and cheese, turkey and cheese, the sandwich. Pretty iconic around the world. Pretty simple, too, and always so very good, right? Delicious. Mashed potatoes and gravy. I love mashed potatoes and gravy. I love potatoes, and I've learned to love gravy. I remember when I was a kid, I'd be like, no, I'll take just the potatoes. And then I was like, no, I want gravy now. Like, I got some hair in my chest. I'm like, give me some gravy. And I fell in love with it. Delicious. All types of gravies, too, by the way. Chicken, turkey, beef. Whatever kind of gravy they got, I'll eat it with my potatoes. Another great combination. A sundae. You got ice cream, whipped cream, nuts, cherries. Great combination. One that plays off in my head all the time, though, and it's pretty generic, but I'm gonna go with it, is salty and sweet. Salty and sweet has always been a fantastic combination, in my opinion. And it's usually always good, right? You think about it in modern day sweets. Take the candy bar, for instance. I love myself a good Hershey's bar. Do not get me wrong. And I'm no anti-Hershey's person, because I think that's absolutely blasphemy, because I feel like if you are an American and you grew up in this country, I think that Hershey's is like one of the best chocolates you've ever had. It certainly is, in my opinion, probably the best chocolate. Now, you ask somebody from another country, they're going to tell you that Hershey's tastes terrible, that it's not like real chocolate. Well, excuse me, ma'am or mister, what constitutes as real chocolate to you if it's not Hershey's? It says Hershey's milk chocolate. And then they're like, it's not as sweet, mate. It's not rich like what we got here. And then it's like, I don't know why I did that, but it's like, you know, I'm trying to be somebody from another country without offending anybody. I can use a British accent. That's okay. It's been okay forever. And they're like, no, ours is better. A better chocolate than yours, mate. It's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Roland, ours is better. And, aside from, like, me loving the purest, form of chocolate, just being chocolate, right? I feel like nowadays, every good chocolate bar, candy, sweet, dessert, always has to have some kind of salt in it, right? My favorite candy bar of all time is Snickers bar. What's in a Snickers? Chocolate, nougat, caramel, peanuts. That little bit of salt in that sweet, delicious. Absolutely delicious. Just a perfect combination. Bang, bang, play. Jack and Jill, Romeo and Juliet in my mouth. Delicious. If they didn't, have such a bad ending. Imagine Romeo and Juliet, happy ending. That is what salty and sweet is. In my mouth, delicious. Delicioso. And now there's been an attempt, not just an attempt, but a challenge to the salty sweet zeitgeist, to the salty sweet category, and it's being pushed hard here. I mean, really, really, really hard. And I'm going to try them. Don't get me wrong. I will try them. But if you are a fan of Oreos, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I regular sized, double stuffed, mega stuffed, Halloween, Christmas, Easter. Not mint though. Fuck that. And I've never had the thins either. I'm sure they're delightful. I would love to try them, but I personally probably never buy them because, them being thin, I'm just like, I'd rather just have regular Oreos. Thank you very much. I've also heard people on the web, the internet, say that dunking your Oreos in water makes them taste better. Not sure if it's true or not. I'll have to try it for science, for mankind. But, I'll take that hypotenuse and put it to the test. In the spirit of science, I'll test that hypotenuse in the scientific theory and make sure and try it out and see if it becomes an actual, I don't know, what does it become, a hypotenuse and a theory, then an experiment, then a discovery. I don't know. I'm no Nobel Peace Prize winner. You can clearly tell that. But I'm going to try that. Dunking your Oreos in water and then eating them. I've heard it makes them taste better. I'm a big milk guy, though. I'll tell you this. I love dunking them in milk. I love also not using my hands when I do it because it gets dirty and messy and filthy. I'm no animal. So I love to get a fork and jab it in between the cream, between the cookies, and dunk that bad boy in milk and let it sit there for a little bit until it's like soaked up, and then just one bite that bitch. I ain't no fucking multiple bites with my Oreos. No way, no how, because it just makes a bigger mess, right? You can't just take a bite out of an Oreo and be like, and not like it not crumble in your hands, right? Come on, they're not made for that. We're Americans. We eat things in one bite. God damn it. If I could eat pizza in one bite, I would do it. Right? If I could, I would. Why wouldn't you? Right? Imagine if you had like a big enough mouth, big enough hands, the perfect slice of pizza. Why would you not? Right? It takes much less time. You get everything in one bite, one chew, one swallow. Delicious. Back to the Oreos though. And I've never had like the yellow Oreos either. They're like a brownish, yellowish cookie, and then the same white cream, and then they got like a golden yellow box or packaging. I never had those either. I'd like to try them too. But I've always been a big fan. Also, always been a big fan of Ritz Crackers. If you know where I'm going with this, you probably have already seen it, but this is where I'm going with it. Always been a fan of Ritz. In my opinion, Ritz are like the best cracker that's ever been created. The absolute perfection in Ritz Crackers is I don't think any snack has matched how perfect Ritz tastes in terms of what you're buying and what you expect, what you receive, and how it's always maybe Cheez-Its, but like Ritz Crackers just have like this incredible distinct flavor, the saltiness, the butteriness, the crackeriness. It's just a perfect marriage of flavor for a salty cracker, a salty snack. It checks off all the boxes in what I want in a nice cracker, right? Nothing has come close. Not Keebler, not Saltine, not graham crackers. Nothing has come even close. Not the little fishy crackers. Nothing. Nothing has ever topped Ritz, and nothing will ever top Ritz. I'm putting that stake in the ground right now. Nothing will top Ritz. And now, just a couple days ago, I saw that Nabisco, not a sponsor, has created a creation that I've never thought that will forever change the term of salty sweet forever. If you don't know what it is, they're taking a cookie from an Oreo, putting it on the bottom. I'm going to build the sandwich for you. So on the bottom is going to be Oreo. Then it's going to be cream, Oreo cream. And then it's going to be a layer of peanut butter. And then a Ritz cracker. All in one package, just like that, for your consumption. I saw that. And I'm thinking, like, I definitely need to try these. Because I love all 4 ingredients. Oreo, cream, peanut butter, Ritz. Love them all. To death. Nabisco, you should probably sponsor this episode. But, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like broken what we've all thought of salty sweet, of what it is and what it can be. Now we're just putting things together to make them salty and sweet. You know? Like, there's no, like, oh, this is just to add a little bit of crunch, a little bit of... No, we're putting a full peanut butter and a full cracker in our Oreos and selling them just like that. We're going to the full sweet and the full salt. You're getting it right here, right now, baby. The full cream, the full salt. As a lover of food, and a lover of snacks, and a lover of flavor, there's no other option here. I must try these. Whenever they debut, whenever they come out, I guarantee you, I'm going to be there. I'm going to try them out because, in the name of science, I need to know if this creation is a success, is going to stay with society. There's only so many things that are new, that come out, that are, just a little bit of a try. Let's see if this works out, and that they actually stick. If you think about it. One of the ones that I've noticed that has stuck around was Flavor Blasted Goldfish. I remember when those first came out. I was like, the packaging is cool, man. It's like all like jazzed up. It's like, I can see like the seasoning, the little crystals. It's like bright orange. It's like, like an explosion of bright orange stuff. And they used to have commercials where the little goldfish were like drenched in that extra flavoring dust. And I was like, oh, I want to fucking eat these. These look even better. And I got to tell you, man, I think I'm more of a fan of the Flavor Blasted Goldfish than the actual goldfish. Don't get me wrong. Goldfish is a great snack. Great, great, great snack. But I think that Flavor Blasted is a little bit better. I got to say, I really think it is. I just feel like it's got like that more of that punch that I love, that I want, and that I need. Right? It's just it's got that, the X factor. It's got that, and it's just, that was always one that I was like, is this gonna stick? And it ended up sticking. The next one is not a snack, but a promotion at a fast food chain that I am so surprised that it's still alive to this day, and that is the Doritos Locos Taco. I was a sophomore in high school when that came out, and I remember the first time everybody in school went to the local Taco Bell to try a Doritos Locos Taco, and I was very concerned if it was going to be any good. I was very concerned because I was like, is the shell going to hold up? Is it the same type of shell? Just a Dorito flavoring? Like, what do we got going here? Is it going to be a different type of shell? Is it going to have the same stuff? Is it going to have different little hot sauces that you can get? Like, what's it going to be like? And I remember walking into the Taco Bell to purchase one of them, and I heard from everybody else in there at my school saying, this is good. This is worth it. This is actually great. I love this. On those lines. And when I got my hands on one of them, I took a bite. Back then, my go-to sauce was mild. Now it's hot. I've evolved. I've changed. So going back in time when I was a mild boy, I took my first bite, and I actually was like, this is actually better than the regular crunchy taco at Taco Bell. And that was one of my staple items at Taco Bell back then. Staple items was the regular crunchy taco. And that, right then and there, beat it. Beat it. And I'm not talking about the stupid-ass Cool Ranch shell. Fuck that. I'm a nacho cheese man to the day I die. I've had it. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a huge fan of Cool Ranch Doritos anyway. If they're there, I'll have a couple, but I'm like, where's that nacho cheese, buddy? Where's that at? That's my jam right there. But and I was like, this has got to stay. And sure enough, man, it hasn't left the menu. It's been a staple. One of Taco Bell's biggest home runs is still serving them to this day. They've had promotions come and go, but none as successful as the Doritos Locos Taco. And just that being one of the most recent items, a spin-off, I would maybe say, in the food business that actually stuck around. That was a cultural phenomenon. The Doritos Locos Taco was a cultural phenomenon. There was commercials about it. People loved getting them. They loved talking about them. Everything seemed more fun when the Doritos Locos Taco was being consumed. It just did. I don't know what it was, but I think it was the fact that we're eating Taco Bell, number one, and Doritos, number two, in one bite. I mean, talk about heaven, right? I love this country. Can you believe that? We have Dorito-flavored taco shells at Taco Bell. What a place to live. What a time to be alive. It's so incredible. I can't wait. I mean, I love it. So those are my two big ones that stick out. Flavor Blasted Goldfish and Doritos Locos Taco. One that I think is a sleeper that I actually might, I could fight somebody on is the Snickers Peanut Butter Squares. Those were actually delicious. Those were really, really good. Surprisingly good. Like, I can't tell you, when those first came out, I was skeptical. I was like, are these going to be... I love peanut butter. I love my Snickers. But how's this going to play out? Sure enough, though. Maybe it's because I'm fat, but that spin-off item was delicious. I was like, this is another home run. Like, fat people just keep winning. We can't stop. We can't stop consuming things. It just, I keep winning. Right? Imagine if you're like a anti-Snickers guy or a vegan or a vegetarian that can't eat Snickers. You can't experience the Doritos Locos Taco. You cannot experience Snickers Peanut Butter Squares to the fullest experience, right? If you're a vegan or vegetarian, you got to get that substitute with what? More lettuce? I don't know. Whatever vegetarians or vegans substitute meat with. Beans? I don't know. You can't get that full experience. You just can't. You can't get the Doritos Locos Taco, how it's advertised, how it should be consumed. I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. I'm sorry. It's a fat person's world, and I'm just living in it. And I'm living in it, soaking it up, laying in it, having fun. Just like, yes. Although I do need to probably exercise more. Maybe to lose some weight. No, not probably. I should. Will I do it? I don't know, though. It's a big question of mine. But yeah, moving on. Okay, so moving on to a little bit of TV stuff. Been watching a show recently, the Halo TV series. Halo the series. I'm finally going to give a review. A full-on review. No spoilers, of course, but a full review. It's been almost a week since the first season finale. And I'm going to give you my review of the show because I've talked about it with my friends a couple times. I share my genuine thoughts on the show. We've had some different opinions on it. It's fine. And I'm going to give you my full thoughts right here, right now, on what I expected, what we got, and how I felt about it. In that, not that order, but just like, in that general way, I guess. So I remember starting off when the first episode came out, I was genuinely surprised of how much I liked it. How much, it felt like, Paramount like really spent some money here to build this world up and build like what this is going to be about and build like sets, making it look good, hiring the right, people to run the cameras, to the right actors, the right stunt coordinators, all that stuff, right? Like, I think if you could point a couple things out in the TV show that stand out, there's a lot of them. From the costumes, the lighting, the locations, the sets, the atmosphere, the extra stuff, all like it looks really good. The effects, the space stuff, the Covenant look really good. The Spartans look amazing. Like it's a really shot well series. It really, really is. It looks so damn good. I got to give them props for that because they've truly brought the world of Halo to life, and even then some. There's a lot of things in the show that the games don't even touch on. You kind of see or hear stuff in the background of games about some stuff, and then stuff in the show is expanded even more to what you can even have possibly imagined of what was even in that universe, and like the worlds from like Madrigal to Reach to High Charity, stuff like that. You can tell that they put so much effort into building the world of Halo, and I think that they accomplished it very well. I truly, truly do, and they should be proud of themselves because it looks so good. And the show didn't have like the most gargantuan budget, but they still made it look really good, better than I thought it could have been. Truly, like it could have looked a lot worse, like, production wise, but it didn't. It actually looked really good. Now moving on to like the story and stuff. Obviously, if you've been following along in the conversation of this show and the conversation within Halo and what the producers have been saying about the show from the not the beginning, but like, pretty far off into it. This is not going to be based off of any game. This is not going to be a direct adaptation. This is not going to be the same timeline. This is going to be completely different from the games. And after seeing the season 1, it's 100% different from the games. 100% different in terms of the story, in terms of the events, in terms of, spoiler alert right here. Chief is alive on Reach, and Reach is not dead. If you've played Halo Reach, this is just not, it's not a canon to the games. So there's that. So yeah, if you're a true Halo fan, you probably should already hate that, right? I don't know, but completely different, 100% different, and that being the case, me knowing that, actually made me love, and not love, but really like and enjoy, and was really invested in the drama, the side characters, their motivations, their problems, the world around Master Chief and the world around the Spartans was expanded to what I never thought would have happened, right? And I thought it was actually really good, really well done, really like convincing drama, or not convincing, entertaining drama, entertaining action. There's a lot of really good things in this show, really, really good things. There's a couple of side plots, side character things that I was holding out on, that I was waiting for it to materialize and for it to be earned and for it to be a payoff. It never really happened. So there's a side character thing. I think if you've seen the show, you already know what it is. That for me, I held out. I was holding out hope for it. I was like not gonna throw it away because of just a couple, just it not being enough Master Chief or something like that, or him not being the main part of this. But like, I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I was waiting for it to happen, and it never happened. And I'm like, well, I gave you. I was with you. I was ready for you to pay off this arc, to pay off this character. It never happened. So I was like, okay, well, that's kind of a waste of time. I was like, what do we do? I don't know. Usually I'm pretty forgiving with that stuff. I'm really like, I want to see what your vision is. I truly want to know what you've made and what you've changed and what you think that this story is about and why you wanted to make this. You clearly wanted to make this to because you liked this story and you thought of something like that could have been really compelling, but it just kind of went nowhere for me. So I'm like, okay, I mean, the buildup was all right, but like no payoff. I can't. I just, it was like whatever. It was honestly kind of a waste of time. It was kind of a waste of time. So that wasn't a high point. There's a lot in the show that really, really does a great job, like I've said before, building up the world around Halo and talking about what's happening in the world of Halo. You know that the UNSC is fighting the Covenant. That's it. That's been the keystone, the bread and butter of Halo. The UNSC, humanity versus the Covenant, because the Covenant hates humanity because of religious reasons and is religiously motivated to find the Halo, and then the UNSC wants to stop them because they get access to that. They're going to destroy each other and blah 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 blah. Destruction of one race, right? And that's just the gist of it. I'm no Halo lore expert. I just kind of know the gist of it. They don't like each other. They want to destroy one another, right? And that's talked about and discussed quite a bit, but it's not shown quite a lot. If you get what I'm trying to say here, there's not a whole lot of action, people. There's some really decent, good action, but it's a war show. It's like at its core, it's a story about a war between the Covenant and the UNSC. But you don't really see a whole lot of it. It's like when you do see it, it's great. It's awesome. You see Master Chief killing Covenant. It's like, whoa, this is sick. This is awesome. I love this. And then it's like, for the most of the episodes are not action at all. And if it is, it's just between, the inner conflicts between the UNSC and the politics, which I do like. Don't get me wrong. I think it's very interesting, very world building. And like I said, they do a great job of building this world. A great job. But I think that the main point of what makes Halo Halo and the center conflict is barely there. It's like you got to beg for them to give you some UNSC versus Covenant and show me, they keep talking about the war. Show me the war. Show me what it's like fighting these aliens. 'Cause You get a first battle in the first episode, but it's not UNSC versus Covenant really. It's Spartans versus Covenant, but it's not like it's like it's not really like you see how the UNSC is like trying to like outduel the Covenant here. Like, but episode 5 happens, and you're like, oh, there it is. Like, where's that been? And then you get a more of a drought of no action. Good story, but no action. And then you're like, where is it? Come on! And then at the end, finally at the end of the season, you get more action. It's like, well, I wanted more of that. And I've been thinking about this to myself, like the action in the Halo show, it's done very well, but it looks like it's the most expensive thing ever, because you can't really have practical elites, brutes, grunts, jackals, phantoms, Spartans, yeah, because they're in the suit, but like the Covenant are all pretty much all CGI when you see them in battle. There's stunt men in suits, but like over them is CGI and effects, and it's like that's gonna cost money. And Halo has always been in gargantuan giant battles, and seeing like UNSC and Covenant throw down and really having all out warfare. So when like you expect to see giant things like that from the games, and then you see it in the TV show, again you get spurts of it. It's like, oh, this is a cool battle, but then it's like there's like barely any left. It's like, come on. Like, again, great world building, interesting characters, great, story arcs and intertwining conflicts and side plots for the most part, not one. And then, like, just a lack of action, lack of that centerpiece of the UNSC versus the Covenant. That war is essentially missing in the Halo TV show. And that's my biggest gripe about it. Honestly, I don't care about the Master Chief taking off his helmet and being different. It's a TV show. It's not a video game. It's a different way to tell a story and a different storytelling medium than a video game. It just is. And they decided to go this way, and I bought into it. I was like, cool. Give me something different than the games. Now, would it have been cooler to see Master Chief throw down with Covenant? Hell yes, but that's overall a lacking part of the show, which you couldn't really see much because there wasn't much of it. So it's like they didn't have enough action, therefore you couldn't see Master Chief be a badass, which I think we all were wanting to see more of. Right? We all were. That doesn't mean like he's a bad Master Chief. No, it's just like that's just it might have been budget. It might have been just like they wanted to build up that world and build up that universe as best they could. But honestly, I think the best way they could have done that was more action, more Covenant. There's a lot of episodes where you don't even see any Covenant. It's like, who's the bad guy here? Like, who's the main bad guy? I know we got this interpersonal stuff, which I dig, but I still think that we need to see more Covenant, more UNSC versus Covenant. And that, to me, ultimately was the biggest weakness of the Halo TV series, is the lack of Covenant UNSC war, I guess you could say. It just like they just kept talking about them being at war, and you never really saw it. You do see a good chunks of it, but it's like, in terms of like the length of the series, you don't see a whole lot. So it's like every episode is like kind of like hoping like we get a little bit of a battle. Maybe we see some Covenant characters get fleshed out a little bit, and give it more of a see the both sides. I mean, they had the character of McKee kind of do that, but it wasn't like towards the end of of the season, it kind of like dwindled and just wasn't as prominent as it was in the beginning. And then it's just like, wait, you're fighting who? Who are we fighting now? Like, where's the Covenant? Like, what's going on here? So yeah, I think that it's solid. I really do. I think it's still solid. I'm intrigued for season 2. I hope they boost up the Covenant. I hope they give the Covenant more time to develop as enemies and be the true enemies and not just, the UNSC. They can be the side enemies. I still like that when they have, their like government, political drama and all that. I like that. I think it's interesting. But you have a villain. You have the Covenant. Flesh them out more. Let's see more of these guys. It's like I was starving to see Covenant towards the end of the series. And then we got it and it was like, that's it? Like, come on. And I get it's, the CGI is going to be expensive. I understand that. But you got to make your bad guy, your big bad, more prominent, I think, in the show, right? Don't get me wrong. I still love the stuff with the Spartans, right? Silver Team is sick. Chief is sick. UNSC is sick. I love the characters. I love the Dr. Halsey angle. I love all that stuff. The Miranda Keyes drama, Captain Keyes and all that stuff. I love that, all that. And also, give me a Sergeant Johnson, please, next season. I mean, I'll please give me a Sergeant Johnson. I love the fact that they had Keyes in that kind of like that Sergeant Johnson role, but give me a Sergeant Johnson. And I want to see Sergeant Avery Johnson just be with Chief and kicking Covenant ass. I mean, just make this a true war story now. Like, now you got the world, you got the lore, got the politics. Now really dive into that Covenant UNSC war. Let's get some boots on the ground. Let's get some engagements going on. Not just 2, come on, or 3. More than that. Come on, you had 9 episodes. 3 had battles, all right? Let's get it moving. So yeah, I guess ultimately final thoughts. A lot there, but a lot missing. Which, I'm pretty sure is probably the main consensus of the show is, where's the Covenant? We need more UNSC Covenant war. Hopefully in season 2 they boost that up, because when that shit was happening, everybody in the community, the fandom, was excited. So give us more of that, and I think we'll be solid. More of that. Give me more than 3 battles for 9 episodes. Give me more than that, all right? And then we'll talk. We'll be more positive. So at the end of the day, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm going to give the Halo TV series a 7.3 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair score. It's not too high, not too low, I think. It's a solid show. It's got some problems, but I think it can get better. It really, truly can only get better, I think. Only get better. The way they've teased some things, the Halo, in fact, the Halo ring, excited for that. That could be really cool. That could be interesting. Flesh out the Covenant more. And Cortana, now, I'm cool with that. More Cortana would be awesome too. She was in the series a lot. I liked her a lot. But the more the merrier, I think. Honestly, the more of this show, the more of the coreness, the core Halo, I think that we'll get in the next season will only make it better. More Covenant, more Cortana, and more Sergeant Johnson. Let's do this. Let's make the next season great. It's possible. Don't give up. But that's going to be it for today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. This drops every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. If you have a topic you want to send in, you could do that. You can DM me at my social media platforms, which are in the description of every podcast episode. So if you want me to chat about something, want to hear my thoughts about something, that's not political, that's not actually a serious topic, or, serious, I guess you could say, if it's like aliens exist, I will absolutely talk about that. But if it's like anything political, it's not going to happen, all right? Just not in my realm. I don't care about that stuff. Truly don't. And I don't feel like I should care enough to preach, to talk about it, when that affects other people's lives. It doesn't make any sense to me, so I'm not going to talk about that. But anyways, thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.